Jump right into them. All right, what was your drug or drugs of choice if you had multiple, and at what age did you start using any substance?
My first drug of choice was alcohol, and that was at age 13. My last drug of choice was heroin, and I quit that at age 23.
Awesome. They did a 25-year study, and they say the average age for people to start using or experimenting with any drugs or substance is 11 to 13 years old. You know, and it's just so common. In our videos, it's almost 90% of the time people are saying that they started at that time. So
yeah, it's crazy because, you know, you just do it to fit in, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, I have a problem.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, that's where the education should come into play. People need to start being educated, and we're trying to get that out there as much as we can.
It's important to know, you know, like if there was prevention, like the DARE program obviously failed us miserably. Looking and saying, oh no, like you said, the peer pressure and the social, like where society wants us at and what's acceptable to society is setting everyone up for failure.
It is.
Yeah.
Like even if you have addictive personality or not, like you are getting set up for failure. So
yeah, I mean, I never knew about addiction. I think that like saying
Literally.
drugs are bad is different than like in teaching kids about like what addiction is.
Absolutely.
And that it can affect anyone, you know.
Explain
Totally
about
agree.
withdrawals. Get rid of all the glamorous sides of it, you know, because by you saying what it does, it's making them want to do it more instead of what the outcomes are from using, you know.
Yeah.
Because if there was no consequences, if there was no withdrawals, everyone would do it. Everyone
Literally.
would do it, you know. And if it didn't get bad, then why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
So
why would you quit? Right.
exactly. All right. So who did your addiction affect?
Well, I think all addicts for me personally, it affected everyone around me. Like, I was manipulative, I lied, I stole, but I think, like, the main people it affected was definitely my family, because, like, not only was I doing all those things to them, but I also led them on multiple times that I was going to get clean. So from when my first rehab when I was 15 until my last rehab when I was 23, I went to so many rehabs in between there that I kept giving them false hope. And my mom actually told me that she had already grieved my death before I got clean. Like, she had already gone through the whole grieving process that I was going to die, and she just accepted it. So I definitely think my family was the number one people I affected.
Yeah, my mom definitely, she did that too. She literally had my funeral ready, and she would, like, call me. I know everybody grieves differently, right? And we're not going to judge somebody by how they choose to deal with their pain, but she would call me, and she'd be like, you're going to be, it's going to be a picture in your high school. No one will remember you for who you've been. And I'm like, what? And
It's
she's
harsh.
like, and she goes, it's okay to die. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she goes, you're not my daughter. And I'm like, well, you okay? You know, and like, she's right and she's wrong. And like, she knew that though. And she gave me the hard love, but she called me every day. Every day. It was so annoying.
My mom said she would keep paying my phone bill if I called her every day so that she knew I was alive. But yeah, when I made amends to her actually was when she told me that she had grieved my death, and like, I don't know why, but that like hit me so hard that it's like I affected them that much that like my mom had already written me off as dead, and she said that she wanted to stay in my life because she would rather spend the last moments with me in active addiction than, you know, have that regret. So, I mean, that just really, like, messed me up.
Absolutely.
Of course, I can only imagine. And I can only imagine, like, what we look like when they finally hit that stage, and then when we get to our rock bottom. Like, when they think that we're dying, and then when we want to die. You know, like, that, I can only imagine. And I would automatically say, like, I don't mean it to be selfish, but and it affected us too. And and to the point where we just didn't care about anyone or anything around us. That's a problem. It is. It's a problem that I think a lot of us addicts faced in our recovery. So that's why we are so strong on the family aspect of it, Because if we can educate family members on how to talk to their loved ones that are in active addiction, I think it'll help people reach sobriety or recovery faster.
Or even just an understanding of it, because that's what the big key is.
So.
Yeah.
Now, what led you to get clean?
So, like I said, I've been to a lot of treatment centers, but this last time that, it stuck was in 2016. And my family had cut me off, like, probably a year before that. And I was living out of motels, doing things I didn't want to do to support my habit. And my family would come and pick me up once a week and take me to dinner and beg me to get clean, and then drop me back off at the motel, even though they knew what I was doing. And my body started shutting down, and it got so bad that I actually wasn't able to make money anymore. And I started putting away money for detox. Like, I started, on top of supporting my habit, I started saving money for detox. Because I was so desperate. So this time was like the gift of desperation. By the time I got clean, I couldn't walk. My foot was numb for months. Everything was swollen. I had no veins left. Like, I was a walking zombie. And it stuck because of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. How are you staying clean today?
So I work a 12-step fellowship. And self-care, society, like being a productive member of society, service work, like, y'all know that I'm on TikTok.
Yeah.
I help the still sick and suffering, but also help the people that are in recovery. I sponsor women. My sponsees have sponsees, so I'm a grand sponsor. I'm about to start running a group at the last rehab I went to, which is going to be awesome. I'm so excited about that.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I'm so proud of you. Wow.
I'm excited to do that. And yeah, just making sure that I'm bringing what I'm learning in my recovery into my everyday life, like work, school, my house, like family, everything. So that's keeping me clean today.
Awesome.
I truly believe that giving back is the key to staying sober, and in order to keep it, you gotta give it away.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Because it's just, when you surround yourself with people that are just like you, it's just like what we do when we're using. We don't surround ourselves with people that are doing good. We surround our people that are doing the same thing as us. So why wouldn't we think it worked in recovery as well?
Yeah.
You are who you hang out with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, changing those people, places, and things.
I used to thought that was just such a cliche thing until I was able to start saying no. And saying, like, this one person, like, I saw from the town that I'm from, they were like, hey, what's up? I'm like, can't talk to you, sorry. And I blatantly said that out loud, and it was just like this instant reaction. I didn't even feel bad. And I used to just be, like, such a people pleaser and think I could hang out with anybody, I can go anywhere and stay, and it wouldn't affect me. Like, I could make choices for myself. No, but I can now I can make choices for myself that are just the right choices. And it feels good to just be able to say no.
You're always good at that.
So, what is your biggest accomplishment in your recovery so far?
My biggest accomplishment? Well, I've had a lot of accomplishments. Like, I'm a homeowner.
Awesome.
I'm back. I've held down a job for 4 years.
Good.
I am back in school, which when I was using, I failed out of school, and I was like, I'm a horrible student. But actually, I was just, on drugs. So it didn't go well. But yeah, I'm back in school getting straight A's, which is like unheard of for me. And I think the biggest accomplishment out of everything is that, like, I've got self-love. Like, I have self-worth. And I think that, like, all the material or ambitious things that I've done, like, no, I have, like, a sense of peace today. So I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
That's awesome. There's so much to be grateful for. And it seems to be like all the stuff that we get back, we get back like tenfold. Right? Like, it's amazing. And knowing your worth, woo, that's the best accomplishment.
Yes,
Woo!
yeah.
Woo!
I hear Scotty. Just
Yeah.
1 second.
He's probably in the pile of pillows, which isn't safe.
I'm coming, baby. I'm coming.
Oh, no. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. How exciting is it that you're going to be running a group in the same place that helped you? Like, that's the ultimate cycle right there. Like, the best kind.
I'm so excited about that. I mean, I haven't been back there in a while. It's in my city, and I haven't been back probably since COVID. But being able to run a group is going to be,
You say hi, Maggie?
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
That's youngsters.
What are you doing?
He's like, why do you guys always do this?
I'm just waking up from a nap, too.
He likes being in the videos, though. Or he
Yeah,
likes touching the
because
drawers.
He got sober in his hometown, and for me personally, like, I left my hometown because, one, that was my only option, pretty much. And two, like, honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because there was no way I could have stayed sober. And when I first got with him, he knows everyone, right? Like, his dad knew everybody, he knows everybody. So when he sees something, he flat out, I was with him one time, he goes, nope. And I'm like, I wouldn't talk to him if he said no. You know, like, what? Like, that's strength, you know, like, that's crazy that he's capable of doing that, and that's amazing. Like,
yeah,
wow.
I'm not in my hometown. I'm away from my hometown. But,
Yeah.
like, so many people here are from here, and they're, like, just chilling. And I'm like, congratulations, you're so strong.
I just had this
Get out of there.
I just had this 15-year thing where it's like I couldn't conquer it. You know, I would come home, I would do good for a while, and then on a split decision, I'd either be back at the bar or I'd be putting a needle in my arm. No matter what, it led right back into my drug of choice. But I finally conquered what I needed to, and then I moved outside of town, and I have a wonderful life now, and I accomplished what I needed to. Now I get to focus on my everyday growth. So
You're awesome.
it's
Keep her moving, baby. Keep it moving.
Yeah. So, would you change anything knowing what you know now?
So of course I want to say that I would want to change the pain that I caused my family. But as far as like where I am in my journey today, I wouldn't change anything about my personal journey. I think that my past and like what I've been through and what I put myself through made me who I am today. And honestly, I'm grateful that I'm part of a 12-step fellowship because some people never get to, work on themselves and grow. And, because I was an addict, I'm able to actually be like a better version of myself, which, I guess normies would go to like therapy, which is like awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm like grateful that I'm able to like, the growth that I've gone through already in recovery is like crazy. And I'm just excited to keep growing. And yeah, I don't think I would change anything about my journey.
Good.
That's amazing. I always say, I was like, could you imagine a world if we all worked a 12-step program? Even if they're like addicted or not. Like, the world would be so unbelievably different.
Literally, right? Yes. I'm like, you need a program.
Or at least just did an inventory, like you say, yeah, like it'd be. Now, if you could say something to someone that's still actively using, what would you say to that person?
You said that's still actively using?
Yeah.
I would say that whatever feelings you're feeling, thinking that you can't get clean or you wouldn't know how to live without drugs, anyone that has gotten you clean has had those feelings, and everyone starts with day one. People with years clean all made it through those initial first couple days. You're not alone. You're not special, unique, and different. And I believe in you, and you can do it. Recovery is possible. You deserve recovery.
Yes. I love that. I think that's very important to touch on, that we've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think people see someone with, like, years clean.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but were you really? Yes, I was. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I still had like people like message me like that I haven't seen forever. Like, oh, dude, I thought you were dead. Like it's that sad, but not for me though. It's like, yes, I've cut so many ties off to where like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Now, if you could say something to a family member of someone that struggles with addiction, what would you say to that family member?
First of all, that I'm so sorry you're going through that, and the disease of addiction definitely affects our family and those we're closest to. And also that I would say the most you can do for someone who's in active addiction is not enable them. And, for me, my family had to cut me off before I was able to reach a place where I was ready to do something different. And just offer your support when they're ready to do something different, and let them know you're there for them and that you love them. But that, you're not going to keep feeding their addiction.
Bingo. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is the rest of the interview questions. Awesome. Now we're just going to open the floor to you to share some experience, strength, and hope, and whatever you think anyone needs to hear.
Okay. So I guess, so when I first started trying to get clean, I was in high school, and if I had stopped then, I don't know what my life would look like today. But through all of those experiences, I led myself deeper and deeper into isolation, depression, desperation, loneliness, self-hatred. And the longer I used, the more I felt like I was a lost cause. And reached a place where I was either going to continue living how I was living or die. And, I think that when I was using, it was more for I was more in survival mode. Like, I felt like I needed this I felt like I would choose using over shelter, food, water, anything that normal humans need, I would choose drugs over. And I reached a place where I was so broken that I was finally ready to do something different. And since I've been clean, I've gone through hard times. Those hard times would have happened whether I was clean or using, but I was able to work through them and get to the other side of them. And, when I had about 3 years clean, I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me, my best friend died, and then right after that, I found my roommate's body in her room. She had been dead for 24 hours from an overdose. And that all happened within 2 or 3 months of each other. That low that I felt then was nothing compared to how low I felt when I was in active addiction. Even in some of my okay days in active addiction, I still felt lower than I did when I was in recovery. Recovery offers me happiness, self-love, motivation, gives me my family back. I have a great relationship with my family today. last Christmas, my mom gave me a key to her house as a gift.
Oh.
And this was with like 4 years clean.
That's
And I
awesome.
like lost.
I bet.
I was like ugly crying. Like,
You're
the
so
things
cute.
that I never thought that I would have, you know, I've been able to achieve in recovery. So I just wouldn't change anything about my life today. And I will never look back at any of the times that I've thought about relapsing and stayed clean and be like, wow, I wish I relapsed that day. You know, like every time that I've stayed clean through a relapse, I've been so grateful. And every time I've relapsed over a feeling, I've regretted it. So, yeah, I don't have much more else than that.
Well, that was a lot, you know. It was
A lot of wisdom.
That's
I
what
love that.
Like you said, like your best days high doesn't even compare to like your worst days sober, because your feelings are real. You know, they're validated. They're not clouded. They're not irrational. You know, and 4 years clean, and to get a house, like to get to 4 years, to get to 24 hours clean and sober, it's hard. Getting clean and sober is hard, but it gets easier, and you get things back in life, and things mean more, and you're grateful, and you get to do things.
And I love that you're grateful for your self-love.
Yes.
Like, I hear that, and I feel it, because, like, my story is probably very similar to yours, and I heard the saying, it was like, find your worth and then add tax, because you are worth more than you even think you are. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to add tax. You know, but like, it's so incredible what recovery gives you. It's because it's nothing like before. When I was younger, I always thought people pretended to be happy. And I thought life was horrible. I wanted to kill myself as a kid because I was so scared that everyone was just pretending, that no one's actually happy. Recovery gave me that. And I was like, people are actually happy? That's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Like the joy, the peace, the self-love. I love that you speak on that, because that's what it's given me too. And I can definitely say that. Working my 12-step fellowship also had given me those blessings. So thank you so much for jumping on with us today. We love your TikToks. I think you are hilarious.
Yeah.
The impact that you have in the recovery community is so gratefully needed. We appreciate that.
And we will put your TikTok down below in the video, so when people watch it, they'll see your...
Yeah, we put all your information on there too. If people want to, if they see us from your video, they'll jump on there. Yeah, so it's going to take us probably about a week and a half to edit your video. And then what we do is we send it to you through our emails, and it's a private link at that time. So you can go ahead and you watch it, make sure that you like it. If you want anything changed, you let us know. We'll go back and change it. And then we're going to have yours posted up for
June 7th.
So it's a little bit ways out. But
You're fine.
awesome. Thank you so much, Maggie. It was nice to meet you.
It's nice meeting y'all. I'm gonna definitely be in touch. So
Yes,
Good.
perfect.
Good.
Thanks.